What's up guys, it's Matt. Welcome back to the channel. In this video, we are going to talk about the phenomenon of the iPhone SE, the repackaged iPhone 8 for generations now. Why does everyone keep buying this phone? Why do I keep buying? Well, we all know why I buy all the phones. Who am I kidding? But why are all the normal people still buying this phone, even in 2023? If that's what you've been wondering, let me explain. As far back as when the iPhone got started, from the iPhone 1, the 3, 4, 5, and then finally the 6, they all took on different sizes and form factors, all really maintaining the relatively same shape, but kind of going up in size, getting better software, increased functionality, and while still taking a design break each year by doing a incremental upgrade with the S models. But when the iPhone 6 took shape, I don't know if we knew it then, but this is kind of the iPhone that has stuck around for one reason or another. And as you can see, even though this is a 2020 iPhone SE, the 2022 5G version still looks largely the same design and form factor wise. Pretty incredible. So even though this became the default of form factor, obviously each and every year they did include improvements, and they started making plus models. So you had a larger version of each respective one. I really wish they would bring these back, by the way, but I know they won't because that'll cannibalize their other iPhone sales. Anyway, in its own right, this 4.7-inch screen form factor did become the standard iPhone. And then the iPhone X came into the picture, and so on and so forth. Now we're all the way up to the 14, and I'm sure with that they'll just keep going, no stopping, no looking back. But regardless, Apple still sells this size, form factor, and feature set of phone. And it's so fascinating to me because it's so against the grain of pretty much everything else they sell now these days. Even though we all prefer the kind of all-screen design of the contemporary iPhones, it's still a known fact that anybody who has owned these or used these iPhones with the home button, well, they always love them. The home button works so well. I can't think of one person who has used the home button and hated it. So I think the real essence of this phone and the SE, of why they still keep making the SEs, is I think the real essence is in its practicality. It's more or less a perfected design and form factor, and with its awesome home button and Touch ID, which works like perfection, it's something that we've all kind of got to know and got used to. A lot of people might say that the forehead and chin, you know, the big bezels on the phone are ugly, and well, yeah, they are. But it's kind of what makes these iPhones the iPhones. The current ones have a much more fantastic battery and camera now, and they don't pretty much burn up and get so hot they feel like if you touch it, it'll catch on fire anymore. Huge problem with these older phones, the 6, 7s, and 8s mainly. That's the only reason I really can't recommend these guys realistically in today's current year, because running apps, whether it be social media or whatever, it just sucks up too much of the battery, and batteries go out far too often on these older models. Other than that, they still function and perform and work just fine. It's pretty amazing how they can all just run iOS so well, even being 5, 6 plus years old, even if it means that they don't get continued software updates. So again, I did want to mention, with these iPhones with the chin and forehead, this screen ratio is actually a perfect 16:9, which means the video form factor fits perfectly on the phone screen, compared to if you take a newer one with no home button and has the full screen and uses the Face ID system, you have black bars on each side, and you can zoom in, but still it doesn't really work to perfection like this does. So that's one more thing that you're really not even losing out on. Another thing I want to mention is these things are tanks, tanky tanks. This is such an easy phone recommendation when somebody says, hey, I want to get my kid their first phone, but I want to be able to track them, monitor any potential purchases, and keep track of all that necessary stuff. Well, when you take a compact smartphone with a brand new processor and an operating system that runs perfectly on it, it's kind of a no-brainer. I just think it's pretty incredible overall. Apple has made the same size and form factor phone across 5 generations now, and the newest one can literally fit into the same case as the oldest one. But yeah, I guess there's really no point in messing with a winning formula. It's really kind of amazing to me that the first generation all the way up to the current generation of iPhone, as far as entry-level phones go, really don't look that much different. I also kind of still think it's safe to say that there's always going to be that market of people who wouldn't mind having an iPhone for the ease of use and connectivity and the ecosystem, and just want it as simple as possible. And I do also think that everybody knows that this phone is popular with people up there in age. And another thing is, we all know pretty much all of our grandparents at some point probably have one of these phones or the older phone, so a lot of times those people don't really want to upgrade unless they have to, or it's after for a number of years. Well, imagine the good feeling you would get when you have to look around for something that's new and you see that they basically still make the same thing but with newer internals. That way you don't have to learn how to reuse it. That way it just gives you less grief, because even though we're all tech fans on this channel, sometimes I think it is important to remember that to some people, phone is just a phone. It's just a tool and that's fine, but like any other tool, it all really depends on how you use it. Well, I'm gonna say those are the main things of why the iPhone SE is made today and still sells and is loved by millions. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. I'll see you later.